I actually greet my viewers with another liberal message from me as a liberal Democrat. As a civil rights activist, I stand for civil rights and progressive change, and I wish Barack Obama's government will implement progressive change, not regressive change, as most of his supporters clamored for change. I believe they meant progressive change. As some critics of free journalism, freelance journalism, were attacking actually the very basic premises of free political liberal criticism. I actually resent that. Like CNN analyst Donna Brazil, former Democratic campaign manager of loser El Gore, Democratic candidate, Donna Brazil mentioned was attacks continued, but actually she meant criticism as attack. Okay, for some people criticism will be just an attack, but the criticism is necessary for fruitful political development. And I believe that other political commentators, just beat around the bush. I lambaste the bush. I give my testimony that President George W. Bush lost presidential elections in year 2000, November 2000, as he lost popular vote by 1% to his conservative Democrat opponent Al Gore in November 2000. You see, Federal Electoral Commission declared Al Gore, the conservative Democratic candidate who promised to implement welfare reform, a winner. First time it declared him a winner during about at the beginning of November 2000. As I watched this CNN programming, on my TV screen, and actually give my testimony that Al Gore was declared the first winner of the presidential election in November 2000. When actually there was electoral ballot recount in which Al Gore was winning as advantage or lead of Republican George Bush. Electoral ballot went down to 150. It was going down as U.S. Supreme Court, led by reactionary neo-fascist justices like William Rehnquist and Antonin Scalia, delivered a blow to American democracy and illegally stopped manual ballot recount ordered by the Florida Supreme Court, as U.S. Supreme Court interrupted and seized the democratic process in November 2000 illegally, and siding with reactionary Republican George Bush, who was actually up to cutting taxes for rich people and corporations. And I believe that there was a criminal conspiracy between U.S. Supreme Court Justice, reactionary Antonin Scalia, and Republican neo-fascist Vice President Dick Cheney, who conspired to overthrow democracy. And I believe that Barack Obama should investigate George Bush for illegally usurping power in November 2000 by criminal conspiracy with chairman of U.S. Supreme Court, William Rehnquist, and his leading conservative U.S. Supreme Justice, Antonin Scalia, in order to overthrow democracy and side with and stop manual ballot recount ordered by Florida Supreme Court. And I also believe that George Bush should be indicted for Bush, the current president, should be indicted for illegally usurping power and for criminal conspiracy to overthrow democracy. In November 2000, he also should be indicted for criminal negligence during 9/11 bombings, as he actually, as his government, like Donald Trump's Secretary of Defense, refused to defend the country during 9/11 bombings, where WTC towers were hit repeatedly by airplane jets commanded by Arab terrorist Mohammed Atta, and had been flown from Florida and Chicago. And I believe that Barack Obama, president-elect, should actually order his would-be Secretary of Justice, to investigate George Bush and indict him for charges on the usurpation of power, criminal conspiracy to overthrow democracy, and for criminal negligence during 9/11 bombings. And I believe U.S. Congress actually approved, the House of Representatives, U.S. House approved actually impeachment of current President George Bush, introduced by Democrat Denis Kucinich, U.S. House Representative Denis Kucinich. But actually, this impeachment of Judge Bush got stuck, was actually neutralized by Republicans in House subcommittees, where they actually nixed this impeachment of Judge Bush. And I believe that President-elect Barak Obama, whom I want to cooperate, I want very much to work for him as a national security advisor, as I hold a degree in psychology with GPA 3.45 from California Coast University, as a Bachelor of Psychology with degree 3.45 GPA. And I believe that actually I will be excellent national security counselor and psychoanalyst for Barack Obama, who sometimes blundered over wrong side and was talking delirium during his campaign. He might actually divert from progressive agendas such as discovery of alien intelligence, or switching to electrical cars, or raising minimum wage to a high level of $12 an hour, and cutting taxes to corporations, as I propose high taxes against oil corporations, which should share with the public with their wealth, untold wealth, as they ripped off American public by charging $2 of markup on a retail gasoline price. So we paid $4.45 in retail gasoline prices just only 6 months ago, and then we remember prices fell to $2.05. So American public really got ripped off by $2 per gallon of gas, retail gasoline gas, by such retail gasoline selling corporation giants like Chevron, Arco, British Petroleum, and our corporation, which ripped off Mobil, and our retail gasoline corporation, which ripped off American public. I also believe that war in Afghanistan should stop because it's imperialist bloodshed, as Barack Obama doesn't understand it. Osama bin Laden, the head of the terrorist network Al-Qaeda, is dead a long time ago, and most of the members of Al-Qaeda are American citizens, such as Texan millionaires, Colombian narco-mobsters. They are narco-mobsters, narco-trafficking organization, and not an organization of Afghani tribal militias. And because those predator drones will actually open fire on innocent Pakistani Afghani villagers and murder them, and Barack Obama engaged in hate-mongering and provoking conflict in Pakistan and Afghanistan, as he doesn't understand that Al-Qaeda should be removed out of circulation by legitimate prosecutions of narco-mobsters in America, and not by rocket missile bombardments of innocent Afghani villagers, whose only crime was very different from those people who opened fire on them. They were not Christian, they were Muslims, and this kind of attacks against peaceful Afghani villagers is just a hate crime. Barack Obama should stop this policy of bombarding Afghani villages with rocket fire of those predator manless drones. I also believe that Barack Obama should give money for such projects like discovering alien intelligence, like super telescope, a video feed telescope with vacuum magnificator and laser beam that we're able to discover alien planets. Because right now we don't have a single shot of alien planets. I've seen on most of those internet websites, we don't have a single picture of alien planets with non-solar galaxies from alien distant galaxies. And the American government should do something to build super telescope, because modern telescope we don't have super feature like video feed and laser beam. And hopefully we'll see more of progressive politics.